that those who don't remember the past are condemned to repeat it. And, the Internet Society is now in its 26th year. When we were 20 years, we started something called the Internet Hall of Fame. In there, you'll find all these people that basically hooked up their countries from scratch, that built applications from scratch. The guy who invented Archie, the first search engine, was from Barbados. And, when they hooked up the schools by having a system of store and forward, we've looked at things that have really changed everything, that are, protocols like BitTorrent or, stuff like this, that there's always room to do things. But I do recommend going back there and just browsing through that thing, because you'll see a lot of people. I'd like to pass it to, and then obviously join the Internet Society if you're not already a member. I'd just like to pass it to Jane for her final thoughts.
I would just say it's also free to join, so we're not trying to get money out of you. But thank you for this event. It's been amazing, and I'm embarrassed to say that I learned a lot about things I should have known about in the US, and I'm going to hit some of you up to come up there and talk to you more, especially the team at Silicon Harlem, about the financing issues, because we're trying to put a paper together for folks that we're working with, and it might be just better to have videos of you or podcasts about what you've done. In any event, thanks so much. I think this was super, and I hope we can do more of these. I don't want to keep talking and interfere, so over back to you, Joly.
Oh, is the camera just on me here? So, first off, thank you all for sharing experiences and thoughts and perspectives. And these kind of convenings and discussions are very important to looking at the different shared issues that we're concerned with and finding a collective and holistic path forward. And I think, that's a good way to look at the multi-stakeholder model, which is an abstraction of bringing together all of the different interested parties that have a vested interest in a particular issue area. But that's how we convene the Internet Governance Forum for the USA, and that's how all of the Internet Governance Forum initiatives convene. And we will be having our event July 27th at CSIS in Washington, D.C. We will have the Joly there to make sure that people can participate remotely, of course. And we will have a session there that will focus on the holistic approach to connectivity, from the infrastructure to the economic opportunity, and that's something that I think we heard a lot here today. And kind of in that light, I think that this is a good opportunity to maybe collect closing thoughts from anybody who would like to provide, a sentence or two of what you would like to see taken into this event in the summer. And I would encourage you all to participate during the event, but as I put together a report of this event in the context of the other IGF-USA on the road events that have happened across the country, if there's anything that we would like to see be taken forward into that, I think this is a really good opportunity to open the floor to anybody that has any closing thoughts.
Just a small suggestion. If there is some way by which the experts and the people who are working on community networks, starting with whoever was present in this event, if we can interconnect and share, even on a mailing thread, or on a mailing list, or in some other way, that would exchange a lot of ideas about what problems were solved and how, and what kind of problems are to be solved. And that would also help us. We are interested in building a community network.
So I'm going to put this out as a challenge, both to ourselves and to highlight the fact that this really still shouldn't exist. 20 years later, why is there still a digital divide?
One thing I wanted to do was introduce Edwin Reed Sanchez. Edwin is I spoke about OtherNet earlier in Bushwick. Edwin works on OtherNet and also has an ISP that actually does cellular connectivity in Nicaragua. So he's a great person to know if you're doing projects in New York City. And
Just say that I have a very good video of Edwin at Radical Networks, I think.
Anyway, also that we as a community in New York City, we have a lot of opportunity right now, and I think, you know, between ISOC, the Digital Equity Laboratory, and a lot of the other folks that have spoken today, that we really should be talking more and organizing more. As you said, you know, we have the franchising process that can open up some opportunities. We have the RFI that's still open. And so we should think about some of the things that came up today and how we could work together. For example, on backhaul, internet exchange points. Maybe other people can think of some of the other things. Sustainability or funding, business models, ongoing, you know, so these are all things that I would love to stay in conversation with folks about. I think there are a number of, you know, other digital equity issues that we can all be talking about. So I will commit to, from the platform of the Digital Equity Laboratory at the New School, to bring folks together and share news. And we'll try to keep people connected as a community. So it's a network of networks. That's the whole principle of the internet.
Anybody else? Oh, we got back here. Good. Sorry, we missed you earlier.
No, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry I missed earlier, but I just wanted to say thank everybody that's here. Stu and I, my partner Stu, we've been doing this for quite a long time, and we're very happy that all of us, that now we have a community of people who are looking to do things for the community, both in the community, by the community, for and with the community. So I think what we should be all endeavoring to do is to have a community of winners. Not just one winner, not just one person, not just one group, because everybody here believes that they have a damn good idea about doing things, and there's a lot of doers here in this room. And we should all be trying to figure out how to work together so that we'll have not only just a community, but a community of winners that will go out. If we're a community of winners, we'll be able to help the community and the people we serve to be winners. So that would be my thing. And thanks, Dustin, for coming. So I want to personally thank everybody for coming, because we've been around a long time.
No, thank you. Anyone else? No? Well, this isn't. I'd say eight kind of regions, because like the Bay Area is all over the place, and there are other, you know, I went to Albuquerque, but I was in different hubs within that, but I'd say like 8 different, yeah. So the path of my road trip, I started in my hometown of Aberdeen, Washington, and then I drove south down through Portland, then down through the Bay Area, then Phoenix, Albuquerque, Santa Fe, long haul up to Detroit, and then even though this part is USA themed, I did dip up into Canada for RightsCon, went to Toronto, and then I came down here, and this is my final stop before I head back to DC. One thing that and this isn't really fully baked out in my mind yet, but Greta had this great image on her slide where there was a ladder up to the roof where they were putting satellites in, correct? Or wireless routers. And she had, prior to that, mentioned that, you know, the community networks or the initiatives that have failed are because somebody helicoptered in. So maybe the biggest takeaway from this is that if we're going to be putting connectivity on these rooftops, we need to provide the communities with the ladders and not just drop something down from a helicopter. Right. But other than that, thank you all. And I think what Joly and I can do is gather all of the resources that were shared today and follow up with some sort of email that kind of aggregates them and make sure that nothing's lost here.
What I'm likely going to have to do is to get Jane to do a repeat performance because we totally mangled her presentation.
No worries on that. But you know, what you guys could do also is talk to Mark and make sure we get you a spot on the North American Bureau's website.
Yeah.
We can host all the data. This was some of the stories here are in just the community building, financing, whatever. Awesome. And really be inspirational for other people. And it's amazing how much everything that's going on in New York is also related to some of the places we're also working. So it's very cool.